Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. Happy Friday if you're watching on replay. Thanks for dropping in. As usual, I'm just working on my current project. I still have 2 sections to go. I didn't get much done yesterday. I was talking too much. So today I reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to everybody that clicked on that button. I very much appreciate it. Still surprised that 1,000. I mean, when I think about it, 1,000 people. So I'm glad that people enjoy the videos enough to actually click that button. The other thing that I wanted to mention at the beginning is people that watch the replays. I've noticed that people are watching it when they get a chance, which is probably a lot later than I actually go live, because of the time zones and time differences from country to country. I'm doing this at 1:21 in the afternoon in Denmark, which is probably early morning in most of America. So a lot of people don't get a chance to drop in. They're maybe getting ready for work. Excuse me. They're maybe getting ready for work. They're maybe still sleeping. They're maybe just busy doing stuff. And they get a chance later to sit down and relax and maybe see what we've been talking about. So I was sort of thinking about that, and I was thinking that if you do drop in and you catch conversations, I don't know, I never know what we're going to talk about. It is absolutely random. It could be absolutely anything. But if you do happen to find the replay and you skip through, which is the best thing to do because it does go quiet, like right now, there's nobody in. And it tends to be like that. There's nobody here, then maybe one person will drop in, maybe two or three, and I tend to get the same people coming back, which is nice. And we just chat. So I was thinking, if you're a person that watches the replay and you skip through and you happen to catch part of a conversation and you would like to join in, just send me an email. And it's just diamondpaintinggym@gmail.com. And if there's anything you want to add to anything we've been talking about, or if there's something that you maybe want to talk about, you think it might be a good topic just to talk about, feel free again to drop me an email and I'll bring it up in the next live. I never know when the lives are going to be. Very recently, I'm sort of on a lot more because of the work schedule that I've got. I work at the moment anyway because of the COVID. I work 2 12-hour shifts and then I'm off for 6 days and then 2 12-hour shifts again. That's the pattern that we've settled on just now. It has changed a few times, so I don't know how long it's going to last. So I'm trying to make the best of the days that I'm off by diamond painting and just chatting to people that drop in and just getting to know people. So that's basically it. If you do drop in and watch the replay, feel free to email me if you've got anything you want to add to the conversations, or if you have any just general questions, maybe, I don't know. Could be about diamond painting. Could be pretty much about anything. So I just thought rather than people watching the replays and never really getting into the conversations, that's what you could do. So you can join in. This is the part where I sort of think, right, okay, that's This one. That's it, and then I tip the colour back in, and suddenly I see one I missed. I don't really spend a lot of time doing that though. I used to at the beginning look over it and over it and over it and over it. But now I have a sort of quick look, and if I don't see anything, I just change the colour. And if I miss any, I pick them up at the end. I just noticed two there. So as I said, this is what happens when you go live at a bad time for people. It's very quiet. So I just concentrate on the diamond painting until somebody comes in and comments. And then we get a bit of conversation going. So if you're watching the replay, it's probably a good idea to skip forward a bit until something happens. The other thing is the comments that come up at the side of the screen. It's a few hours before they actually come up. I think it's the longer the video is, the longer it takes, because it has to be checked or vetted or whatever. So when I go off, if somebody watches the replay, they don't see any of the chat on the side. The first time it happened, I thought there was something wrong. Somebody had messaged me and said, "I can't see the conversation. I can just hear you talking, but I can't see what people are saying." So I found out that it has to be the whole thing has to be verified before the comments are actually released. So it can be a few hours. I think the longest I've seen it taken was, I think, 24 hours, just about a day, which I think was longer than normal, but it can vary. So if you don't see any chat, and sometimes I'm talking to somebody and you don't get the other side of the conversation, it's because it's just recently finished or relatively recently finished, and it hasn't been verified yet. So that's what's happening. If you just leave it and then try again a few hours later, the conversation should be there. And then you can skim through the video and just watch for the conversation moving, basically, comments coming in. Then that's when something's being said. Apart from that, it's going to be like this. It's just going to be quiet. I'm just going to be diamond painting, and that's it. I mean, I would be doing this anyway, but I like to just fire up YouTube and have a chat with anybody that does drop in. So next color is 20. No, it's not. It is 9, which is Z, as we say, or Z, as I think it's in America. So a little section here all of the same color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a checkerboard and then fill in the gaps. I found this is the best way to keep things straight, especially with square drills, but I'm using round, but I still do it out of habit. I still do this checkerboard thing. So basically what I'm doing is I'm placing every second drill and leaving a gap. And then the next row up, I alternate it so it starts to build this checkerboard pattern. The benefit of doing this is once you've set up the checkerboard, all you do when you go back is fill in the gaps. You don't have to really concentrate on lining them up or anything. So it's only half the work. You're not concentrating on every drill in that area. You're concentrating on half. Try and get them as central as you can. It just becomes a habit after a while. So you can see now it's building up this little grid. So that is all the Z's in this corner. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the rest of them and then come back and fill that bit in at the end. How you do these things is totally up to you. I tend to start in the bottom right hand corner. I just look to see what the colour is and I start working all of that colour in this section. And then just basically work it like that. So people work in different ways. Some people might look at the grid and look for the most common colour and then do all of that first. It's really up to you. The main thing is you end up with every symbol is covered by a drill. But using the checkerboard technique definitely helps to keep things straight. Okay, my phone's buzzing. I'm going to have to check it. Hi, Cat, 4:30 a.m. Hi, Carrie, good morning. Why are you up at 4:30 a.m.? Are you having all this snow and stuff I've been hearing about in Canada? Oops. Hi, Helen, from sunny Scotland. How's the weather today, Helen? How are you? It's not that cold here today. Just checking. 6 degrees Celsius. And it's dry. So, not exactly winter weather. Just getting over a rotten cold. Oh, sorry to hear that. I've been managing to avoid all the bugs so far. I'm gonna have to check this. Okay, I'll be a minute. It's everything in Denmark is electronic, so I'm getting a digital post message. It could be about anything. It's everything is tied into everything with your what they call CPR number. It's a bit like your national insurance number in the UK. It's unique to you, and everything is tied into that, like your bank, your doctor, uh, your dentist, your COVID vaccinations, everything. Everything is tied into this thing. So if you get a message, it could even just be the local, like the commune, like this area of Copenhagen, might have a message saying the water is going to be turned off for a reason, something like that, or the electricity is going to be turned off for maintenance, or that would come through your e-box. Everything comes through your e-box. The problem is, all I know is it's from the commune, but I don't know what it's about, so I'm going to check it, see if it's anything important. The diamond paint I'm working on at the moment, Helen, I'll show you. It is this one. So at the moment, I am working in this bottom corner. So this section and the top section I've got to do. So that's what this is. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because I've got the light on underneath. Very, very unusual for us to have so much snow. Now tons of rain. Oh, yuck. That's the thing about snow. I mean, it can look good, but when it starts to thaw and you get rain as well, so you're getting sort of extra. So you get floods and you get soaking feet every time you go out. Right, I'm just going to check this thing. There's so many different things this could be, so I just want to check it because it is Friday. Everywhere is closed at the weekend, just in case I need to make a phone call somewhere. Good morning. 7:37 here on Ontario. Hi, Nancy. You made it today. I'm just checking the message on my phone just now. That's why I'm just gone kind of quiet. So how are you, Nancy? Okay, that took me ages to get into that. As I was saying, it was a message on my phone from Copenhagen Commune, which is it's a message going out to a certain area of Copenhagen. Sometimes it can be quite important, so that's why I was checking it. and I finally got in, and they are closing the street outside our apartment, so for traffic. So traffic can't use the street outside. So I'm back. Who's in? Carly. Hi, Carly. Happy Friday. So the big news for me today is I reached 1,000 YouTube subscribers this morning. So that was nice to see. I'm glad that people enjoy the videos enough to actually click on that button. I know what it's like in YouTube, but you just tend to skim, and I mean, I do it myself. I skim, and I don't subscribe to every channel that I look at. So it's nice that people have done that. Just noticed I'm slightly out of focus, I think. Ooh, slightly more out of focus. Or maybe I wasn't. Thanks, Carly. So now that I've reached 1,000, that doesn't look right, does it? Maybe if I turn the light pad down. Yeah, a bit better. Now that I've reached 1,000, I am planning to go out and go mobile YouTube live in Copenhagen, because I always start the videos, welcome to Copenhagen, nobody ever sees it. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do to keep it tied in with how did right, this is important. Carly, how did you break a tray? Do you got any fancy trays you like? The one that I use, I mean, I've got some that were more expensive, but this is the one, the default. It was from Huacan, and it was 2 of these trays, this size, square sides, nice and deep, so that they don't tip over. 2 for just under $5. Thanks, Helen. It fell off the table and the side broke off. Huh. Was that a standard tray? Was that like one of them? Or the white ones with the spout? Or was it a fancy one? I've just I default to this. This is the one that I use all the time. Like I said, 2 for just under $5. Oh, it was a big one like that. I've got, I don't know what else I've got. This is the one. This is my junk tray that I throw all my junk drills. The thing that about this was you get this little cap which stops the drills coming out. Then the spout. See, it's got like a spout, and you get this little cap that goes over it. So when you shake the tray, the drills don't fall out here. But I mean, the tray works well enough. I know it's been revamped, and they're now doing it in a bigger, a longer version, and it's heavier. The plastic is thicker, so it's a bit heavier. But for some reason, oh yeah, I know the reason. It's because I use Tic Tacs. So I use Tic Tac containers. This isn't really designed to fit inside the Tic Tac. I have got an adapter that I can put on it. Not on that. I put the adapter thing in here, and then it makes like a little funnel that this fits in. This fits in. But it's a bit of a pain having to put the little funnel thing in, and so I ended up not using it. So I just use this for my junk. And I use this one because I can just tip them. Oops, all over the picture. I can just tip them straight in the funnel. So I don't need to use any adapter or anything. I do have other trays that I don't even look at anymore. I'm not sure where they are. That's the thing when you get so much stuff. Yeah, this was another one that I got. A bit different. It's got the spout in the corner and a little plug. So you can hold the plug in there while you shake it. It's got the little cover here that helps prevent the drills. If you tip it too far, the drills can fall out. Same with this. If it's really full, that sort of helps stop that. I think this is the original one. Yeah, it's the original one. What happened when I got it was warped. So it's and they reckon it was just the heat at the time. It was during the summer, and they bent. And I tried warming it with a hairdryer to try and flatten it again, but it never worked. So what they did was they sent me replacements, and they're fine. Just unlucky with this. But what was the thing about them? The thing about them was if you've got a drill and you slide it, because this has got little, I don't know if you can see them, maybe. It's got little ridges just the way it was made. So it would have been better with a square drill, but they're all rounds in here. Try to get the flat side there. You get that noise. And when you're sitting at night, it can get irritating. Whereas this is smooth, you don't get the noise. Yeah, it's the diagonal. I don't know if they come up very well on the camera. You can maybe see them down here. These little lines going diagonal that way. That way. They're actually crisscross, but there's certain ones that show up more. But you can hear that noise. So not as much. Well, not now that I use the tweezers, but then I was using a pen, and I tended to slide the drill. I don't know why. And you could hear this scrape, 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 scrape. So that got irritating. So I stopped using it. I mean, I kept those trays even though they're warped. I tend to hang on to everything, like the 1001 little useless baggies I've got. I've got bags of them. Where am I? I'm going back. So I broke off where I usually I kind of like the idea of getting one that comes with a stopper. Yeah, until you lose the stopper, then it's not such a good idea. I just got an order yesterday and the stopper was broken in the bag. Welcome to the real world. I actually got another diamond painting a few days ago. There was a sale, you know the story. There was a sale and I had a look. Shouldn't have done it. Anyway, I ordered a diamond painting and I got it. And when I opened it up, I didn't do an unboxing for it. I don't know why. I wasn't really thinking about it. I opened it up and there was a canvas thread stuck on the diamond painting underneath the poured glue. And I know for a fact, because I had one a long time ago that came with 2 or 3 threads under the glue, that was double-sided adhesive. I tried to slice the adhesive and pull the thread out, but the thread just basically crumbles. So I contacted the company, I took a picture, sent them an email, said, "Just received this, just opened it, and there's a thread under the glue." I said, "I've had experience with this before, and I know The thread is just gonna break up and it's gonna ruin the glue in that area. Can you please send a replacement?" So I think it was the next day, I got an email back saying, "Thanks for the information. We'll get back to you." They got back to me yesterday and they said, "Your replacement is on the way." Now, that is a good company. Um, Things happen, things go wrong, like stoppers and trays falling and breaking. I mean, it's just life. Sometimes things go wrong. To me, it's about what the company does about it, how they treat their customer, are they polite, do they seem helpful, and do they fix the problem? So it's already. I've already got the tracking order. It's already on its way to the airport. So that's just one of these things. I mean, sometimes people just go off on one because something's wrong with their diamond painting, so they go on the internet and tell everybody how bad this company is without actually giving the company a chance to fix it. Um, it's not the way I do it. I mean, okay, if I had sent them that and they said, "No, we're not going to replace it," I would probably have done a YouTube video about that, about customer service. Um, if you give the company the chance and they give you the runaround, that's a bit different. But I always think that people should contact the company and speak to the company directly rather than jumping into a group and complaining. So, what kind of tray was it, Carly? Was it like, I'm just thinking, how did it break? I mean, this plastic is, it's not very brittle. It's a little bit bendy, actually. Was it a standard type of tray, or was it one of these sort of um, 3D printed ones? I think they would be a bit more brittle. You know, this is thicker. It feels more solid. But I have seen these little trays, getting them and the sides broken. But you can see, I mean, there's quite a bit of bend in them. So basically, where your thumb is, the side broke off on the white one. You not got super glue, or is that just a waste of time trying to fix? You must have 1,001 of these little trays that we get. Yeah, it must have, must have. But yeah, like I said, I think out of all the trays I've got, I think I've had maybe two that the side has snapped um, in transit. So they do break. Taped it back together, doesn't work well. So you sit and hold the tray. See, I don't. Um, well, as you can see, I don't. I just set the tray down and work from it. I saw somebody posted a picture. They're using a mobile phone holder that's stuck to the table, and then the tray's put in that. I just set the tray on the table. That way, there's no chance it's going to fall over. Plus, I don't have the hassle of trying to get the tray out of phone holder and then put it back in the phone holder without tipping drills anyway. I just leave it on the table. Yeah, I've never done that. Never even thought about doing that. Holding the tray. Right, before I do anything else. Is that the right colour? Yes. Yeah, I was talking about going live and actually going mobile. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll go and visit the Hans Christian Andersen statue that I did a custom diamond painting of a while back, and let people see the statue where it is. It's in the King's Garden in Copenhagen. So might do that this weekend. But again, I've got the usual problem, time wise. If I wait too late, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's dark, so people won't be able to see anything, so it'll have to be before that. So I think it's going to be early in America. But I want to give it a try. I've got some ideas. I did a custom of Newhown, where all the canal boats are and the restaurants and stuff. Really nice place in the summertime. I did a custom diamond painting of a picture I took there. So I was going to visit there at some point. And the hoverfly picture that I did as a custom, I took that picture in the botanical gardens in Copenhagen. So I'll probably do a YouTube live from there at some point, but I'm going to wait until it's summertime and there are actually flowers to look at. And then I was thinking about maybe looking at other places in Copenhagen. Oh no, Tivoli as well. I did the entrance to Tivoli, second oldest amusement park in the world. I did a custom of that, so I can do Tivoli as well. It all ties in. And then maybe look at some other places in Copenhagen that might be a potential for a custom and let people see what they think would be a good one. So it's all the usual ideas. It's going to take time to get around to it, but I'm thinking if it stays dry and the weather's decent, I'm going to try and do a YouTube live actually in Copenhagen or out in Copenhagen, just to let people see. If people are interested, I might do that more often. I used to do it a lot when I used an app called Periscope for live streaming. I used to walk around Copenhagen letting people see all the stuff, the royal palaces where the Queen lives. Queen of Denmark has been reigning 50 years today. That's all that's on TV just now. She's been the Queen of Denmark for 50 years today. So when I was doing Periscope, I went to royal palaces and I live streamed the Queen. I can't remember what birthday it was, 74 or something. She came out in the balcony, waving to the crowd and stuff. I got really close and did a live stream of that. So I'm sorry, going back to the things that I used to do in Periscope, I got to know a lot of people doing that and actually met quite a few. They actually came to Copenhagen and I took them around. Okay, Helen, have a good day. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to see. There's the Little Mermaid statue. It's pretty famous. Yeah, there's a lot of things. If people are interested, if you're interested in history, if you're interested in Hans Christian Andersen, um, architecture, there is not a lot of old Copenhagen. Medieval Copenhagen, there are very few streets of the very old Copenhagen because of two great fires. I did podcasts about them. They had one great fire of Copenhagen that destroyed a lot of the city because the houses were made of like heavy beams of wood. And once the fire got started, it just basically went through everything, destroyed a lot of the city. And when that happened, okay, no problem, Carly. I've no idea how long I'll be on, but enjoy your meeting. Yeah, after they had that fire, they sort of looked at how the houses were built and how close the buildings were. The streets were very narrow, so it was easy for sparks to drift across onto the opposite side of the street. The fire brigade had problems getting down the streets and they were too narrow. They had problems turning at corners because they were too tight. So when they started rebuilding, they redesigned a lot of things. They made the streets wider. When you come to a corner in these narrower streets now, you don't have like imagine where are we here? If you imagine this as a corner, they don't have this 90-degree angle anymore. They're angled. They don't have it coming out like that. The door, it's usually a door here. They have it angled, and that actually gives them more space to get around. So they redesigned things like that, came up with better water pumps that could carry more water, higher pressure, reach further. So they came up with all these ideas, and then they had the second Great Fire of Copenhagen that was actually as bad, if not worse, than the original one. And there were so many things that went wrong. And at one point, they decided, I mean, this is crazy, but anyway, they decided it was a good idea to send guys into a burning building with bags of gunpowder to cause an explosion that would put the fire out. What happened was they went in with bags of gunpowder, and the bags caught fire while the guys were in there and blew them up. And blew up the building, and the sparks from the building went across the street and set the other side of the street on fire. Um, the fire went for days. It was just unbelievable. They also they had a fire. I'm trying to remember what happened now. They lost a key. They couldn't get in somewhere. They had to get in, and they couldn't find the key. So they spent a long time looking for a key. When somebody finally decided, wouldn't it be a good idea just to kick the door in? So they did that. But while they were doing that, the fire had been spreading, and it was already out of control. So it's all in podcasts. But yeah, Copenhagen and fire don't go well together. Don't often see you live due to time difference. Yeah, I was actually talking about that at the very beginning, Carrie. In fact, I think it was actually you commented. You commented on the last live, didn't you? And I was thinking about that. And what I said at the beginning of this, because again, for people that are at work or sleeping or whatever, because I know this isn't a good time for a lot of people. In fact, most people. I think most people that watch the YouTubes are in America, and the time difference makes it really early when I come on, so people watch the replays. And I do see the figures, and actually, I'm quite surprised how many people watch them because they are just it's random times and random subjects. I never ever know what I'm going to be talking about because I don't know who's going to drop in. I don't know if anybody's going to drop in, and I don't know what we're going to be talking about. Um, like for example, there I was just talking about the Great Fires of Copenhagen. I didn't come on thinking, "Oh, I'm going to talk about the Great Fires of Copenhagen." It's just whatever comes up in conversation, and we just go with the flow. Talking about broken trees, didn't think I was going to talk about that either. But that's what I enjoy about doing these because it is so random. So basically, at the beginning, what I was saying is, if people watch the replays, um, and there's a conversation that goes on, and you would like to contribute to the conversation, or maybe you think of something that you would like to be in the conversation, just send me an email to diamondpaintingjim@gmail.com, and I'll pick it up. And when I do my next live, I'll talk about whatever. If it's somebody that's commenting on something that was in the last one, I'll talk about it. Or if there's something that they're maybe asking something about, I don't know, about diamond painting, about Copenhagen, about Scotland, where I'm from originally, whatever, anything within reason. I mean, it is a family show, but just generally anything that you think, "Oh, I wonder this or whatever. I don't know." So I'm just thinking for the people who can't make it to the actual live, they can still join in the following, I was going to say week, but just the following live. Just now I'm off work for a few days. So that's why I've sort of been appearing a lot more because recently I've been working a lot. I've been doing 12-hour and 13-hour shifts and have very little time to do anything. Doing a 12-hour shift and then travel time can be as much as, well, an hour and a half, each way, so it doesn't leave much time for me to do anything else. But just now, the rota that we're working, this is the third amendment, but the rota that we're working at the moment is I work two 12-hour shifts and then I'm off for 6 days, and then I work two 12-hour shifts and I'm off again for 6 days. That's going to run until the end of January. But I'm also on call. So if somebody doesn't turn up to work or somebody calls in sick or suddenly they really need extra people, I could get a phone call. So um, I always have to carry my phone with me. That's what they told me. So again, once I start talking, you'll see the diamond painting just stops. Typical guy. Can only do one thing at a time. Just got a question, Carrie, if you're still there. When you watch the replay, how do you watch it? I mean, you don't sit and watch like 2 hours. Do you just like skip? Because I mentioned that at the beginning as well. When I finish this, the video goes up, but the comments don't. And it can be a few hours or quite a few hours sometimes before the comments appear. So if you watch this, as soon as I've finished, you'll hear me talking and but you won't see any comments, so it's kind of confusing. So if you're watching the replay and you don't see the comments, just leave it and come back later and try it again. What kind of work? I work at a hotel in Copenhagen, just beside the airport, and I work in the kitchen. I am a kitchen steward. That is the title. So we've been affected by Corona because of all the restrictions, but the hotel has signed a contract uh, agreeing that the hotel will uh, basically make rooms available for up to 300 guests at the drop of a hat if a flight gets cancelled. Like we have these stayovers, or sorry, layovers we call them, where a flight gets cancelled and the people can't get a flight until the next day. Our hotel is the closest hotel. It is at the airport. I mean, it's the Clarion Hotel. And it actually says Clarion Hotel, Copenhagen Airport. I hear you talking much while I diamond paint. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There isn't a lot to watch in these things. I mean, all you're watching is my hand and tweezers. Um, the whole point about the lives for me is the conversation. That is the reason that I go live, so that I can talk to people. I get to know them a bit better. They get to know me a bit better, and we can talk about pretty much anything. It's very different from being in a diamond painting group where the conversation practically stays to diamond painting and nothing else. The other thing about it being in groups is sometimes comments get taken the wrong way. It can be very easy to read a comment and take it the wrong way, and then arguments start. Um, I just find that if you're actually talking, they can tell when you're joking, or hopefully, by the tone of your voice. And I like to keep things nice and relaxed in here. I don't like people arguing about stuff. I mean, we all have different opinions and things, but there's no need for us to argue about it. Um, so yeah, I just like to get to know people a bit better. I find it interesting. And I think the thing about like joining in on lives is you don't know what's going to get said either. Whereas if it's like a normal YouTube video, it's recorded and then it gets put up, and that's it. You have no interaction with it. Whereas the lives, you can join in conversation and talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's like two totally different things. And that was the thing. I don't really put a lot of emphasis on these lives. I just go live when I go live. I don't go into any great detail in the description because I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know how many people are going to drop in. So it's kind of hard. All I say is working on my latest project and chatting to people that drop in, and that's it. And it's always the same. I just put that every time because I think the people who are looking to learn about diamond painting, or they want to see unboxings, or they want to see accessories or whatever, they're not really interested in this. They've got, like, some people might be a beginner and they want to know what is the checkerboard technique I keep hearing about. They'll search that checkerboard and they'll watch a video, which is great. I mean, that's the whole point. But coming in here, if a beginner came in here and was asking questions, no problem. And the thing is, I can actually show them. Like, I can explain, like the checkerboard I was doing earlier. So if a beginner had come in and said, like, I hear about this checkerboard thing, what is it and why do people use it? I mean, I can actually sit and show people. So, I mean, that's quite good. I mean, I've had people drop in that don't even diamond paint. I think they're just bored and they're just browsing YouTube. They see a live and they come in. And then they start asking questions like, "What is this? And how do you do it?" And then they may or may not be interested, but that's up to them. I mean, I see people drop in and leave. Like, I see the number goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, down, up quite a few, and then goes down. People just drop in. They don't comment. They don't say anything. They just sit and watch, and then they think, "Yeah, not really that interested," and they leave. But that's the whole point. I mean, don't sit and watch something that you don't want to watch. It's like sitting watching a program about politics and then complaining that you hate politics. It's like, don't watch it. It's as easy as that. I don't take any offence if people leave or don't talk. It's really up to them. So, has anybody got any plans for the weekend? Doing anything exciting? Diamond painting? Your life was a vibe for me in the way of conversation. As I live alone, and usually only chat with my cat. So you're the lady who chats with her cat. Well, it's just as well you've got a pet. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. It's cold out there today at -8. -8, is that all? It's warming up. We're +6. It was windy here yesterday, actually. Yeah, yesterday all day, and I came home at what time did I get home? Quarter past 2. It was really windy. So it's died down now. The sun is actually out and it's dry. So if the weather stays like this, I'm planning to go out and do my first YouTube live outside. and actually let people see Copenhagen instead of just seeing this room. Has this been unusually cold, Nancy, for where you live, or is this just normal? Because I was hearing that there are parts of America that are getting severe cold weather that they don't normally get, and I think Canada as well. There are areas in Canada that are getting really cold weather. But it's not normal. I was just wondering. Freeze the brass balls off a monkey. Are there many monkeys in Canada? I think it is the wind though that really makes a difference when you get like a really sharp wind. It makes a huge difference. Normally, we get a progression of snow and cold, but as cold because the other day you were telling me it was a lot colder than it is now. Lots of monkeys. Lots of monkeys with no babies. Okay, not quite. I think you should make me a moderator. Nah, I don't really. I set Angie as a moderator when I first set this up, and I don't really need one. I don't think. Um, when I did Periscope, I think it was 35 moderators because I was live walking around Copenhagen, like live streaming, walking and talking, and it was a pain to have to stop and go in and remove the trolls. So I ended up I had 35 moderators, and the reason that built up was again because of the time difference, and you never know when anybody's going to be in. So if you've got 35 moderators, there's a chance that at least one of them's going to be there. And in about 4.5 years, I can only remember one time where I was glad I had them. I was doing a wander around Tivoli, the second oldest amusement park in the world. A guy called Walt Disney visited it a few times and then came up with an idea of creating his own theme park. I was in there, and for whatever reason, I think it was the usual with the trolls. You get one comes in and then goes and tells his mates, and then they come in and then they just bomb the chat. So I was in Tivoli at the time and talking about just various things in Tivoli, and it started. I saw it starting, and I thought because I would end up just spending all my time just blocking them. Um, but I happened to have two moderators in at that time, and they were really fast, and they just blocked them, block, 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 boom, it was over. So, and they never came back in. So that was the one time that it was really good to have them, because I think probably I would have just stopped the stream, and that's exactly what they want. But it's too much hassle. You've got a lot of people in. I mean, I used to get a lot of viewers. Um, the most I had was I went to. I mean, I never just did this in Copenhagen. I went to Sweden, and I went to a place called Lund Cathedral, which was built in. I can't remember now, but it was something like 1085, and I went and I live streamed inside there, went down into the crypt, and it was really, really cool. And I had, I think that was the most views I'd ever had on a scope, and it was something like 34,500 views. It was crazy, just so many people. Because I think it was because of the year. The title that I had put up was just visiting Lund Cathedral in Sweden, established 1085, and I got featured straight away. I don't know if they do that on YouTube. You used to be able to get featured, and it's basically Periscope would look for things that were sort of they thought that people would want to see, and they would basically promote the live stream. And that one, I got a message up saying, "Congratulations, you have been featured," before I'd even walked in the door. Um, that is the fastest I'd ever been featured. I've been featured a few times, but that was the big one. It was pretty cool. The only thing that I've seen really, no, I think I have had maybe 2 trolls or something, but it's those bots that come in and fire up that something dot something. Uh, Used to get them on Periscope as well. I'll just ignore them. But I don't know. I think maybe the trolls aren't interested in diamond painting. It's too boring for them to waste their time on. I don't know. Oops. Did you see the unboxing that I did yesterday? The one that took me up to 1,000 subscribers. No. Yeah, it's a pretty big one. I can't even remember the size now. Mm. Uh, just loading up Gems Flow. It was a 92 by 70. Oh yeah, I'm too slow. That was it. 92 centimeters by 70. Not 920. I do not have a table big enough for that, Nancy. But thanks. Yeah, that's it. It was 92 by 70. I noticed that somebody commented on it this morning, saying that what was it? A diamond painting that large and only having 2 different colours of AB was a joke. I don't really know why, because most of my diamond paintings don't have ABs. I mean, I've got an 80 by 100 that's up on the wall. It doesn't have any ABs in it. Looks fine. Talk about the bots and they're sure to come in. I did see it. My hubby wants it, but I am not sure I want to buy it just now. He's almost as bad as I am with pictures. Does your husband diamond paint? I saw your comment in the comment section on the video. 61 colours. That's quite a lot of colours. I don't know if that's sort of normal for Diamond Art Club. I mean, I've done some Diamond Art Club, and I've got a few that I haven't even started, but I don't think any of them have got that many colours. Yes, my houseboy. I'm sure he's happy about that. Yeah, I've no idea when I'm going to do that one. It was like I said in the unboxing. It was just that I saw that they had. I think it's still on. They've got a 20% discount on any diamond painting, and I'd seen that one. Oh, he would like the anchor then. Um, yeah, I saw that one a long time ago, and I thought I like that. It's just a bit different with the sea coming out of the picture frame, the seagulls flying out of the picture. And I thought that looks pretty detailed though. But what I like about Diamond Art Club is they actually show you a picture of it done, like what it would look like as a diamond painting. So you can look at the original artwork and then you can just switch across and see what it actually will look like in the real world. I like that. It's been more open than a lot of companies. And as I said, in the thing, I like the fact that they do one size. It's like if you want this picture, this is it. This is the size. We're not going to do it in a 20 by 20 or anything. Whereas a lot of companies, you've got a choice of, I don't know, six or so different sizes, and you're looking at the same picture all the time. Like if you click on the 25 by 25, you're still looking at the original artwork. You click on 100 by 100, you're looking at the same artwork. The guarantee, yeah, I haven't. There is some kind of limit on that, isn't there? You can only get a replacement of up to so many different colours or something. I've never really looked at the. It was somebody had mentioned it to me a long time ago and said, yeah, but there is a limit. I like the fact that, I mean, they guarantee everything, but I mean, I think most companies, if you get, um, for example, a canvas and there's something wrong with it, most companies would replace it. I don't know if you were in earlier when I mentioned that. Actually, I got a diamond painting, what, about 4 days ago. I didn't do an unboxing. I don't know, just wasn't really wasn't really in the mood. And I just opened it, and there was a thread under the glue. Have I, were you here when I told that story? So, no point saying it again if you were here. Can't remember. Oh, they change all. Okay. Yeah, you were there. Right. Okay. So I won't go through it again. But I mean, most companies will replace stuff. But I did a video, a YouTube video about that though, about how long will companies honour that. Some companies, if you looked at um, I think it's like 14 days, I think is the shortest one. Like if you don't find anything wrong with it within 14 days of receipt, they won't. I didn't. It was Nancy. Blame her if it's wrong. That was a disclaimer. Yeah, yeah. Nancy's saying that they've changed. They'll replace all. But as I was saying, I did a video about that. What was it I called it? Check your stash, because people tend to get them and then just put them in the cupboard beside the rest, and they don't check that they've got all the drills, or maybe they don't even open the box. I mean, I've seen plenty of pictures of stashes where they haven't even opened them. Diamond Art Club is an exception because I contacted a few companies, and Diamond Art Club said it doesn't matter how long it's been sitting, they'll honour it. So if you've got a Diamond Art Club and it's been sitting in a cupboard for 2 years, you open it up and you find out you're missing 310, they'll replace it. But there's some companies it's a 14-day, some companies it's a 30-day. It seems to vary. But if you have had that diamond painting sitting in a cupboard and you decide to do it one day and you find you're missing some drills, they won't replace them for free. So I thought that was kind of important that people should know that, because you sort of take it for granted. Okay, I'm missing drills, but they'll just send me some. People that don't check, except DSC, do not have OCD. If you got OCD, you check you got all colours. That's true. And then you open every bag and count the drills to make sure you've got exactly what it says. I mean, I got caught out with that. In fact, I think that's why I did the video. Um, I had a diamond painting that had been sitting for. So what I do is I get the diamond painting normally. Um, I'll get the diamond painting. I'll do the unboxing. Everybody sees what I get with the kit. Everybody sees the canvas, quality, drills, everything. And then I get a freezer bag and I put all the bags of drills in the freezer bag, and I put a little note in so I know what the drills are for. Um, so I've just got a stash of bags full of drills for different kits. And um, actually, I wasn't going to. What was it I was doing? I was doing something. I was going to show somebody 310s, and I picked up a bag, and I knew there was a lot of black in it, or quite a bit of black in it. And I picked it up, and I went to find the 310, and I couldn't find it. And it turned out I was missing 25 bags. That's those little stringy ones, but 25 bags of 310 were missing. And I'd had that diamond painting for over a year. So I contacted the company, explained what happened, and I just said, I'm just curious, like, would you send me 25 bags, or is it too late because it's been over a year? And I never got a reply. So that was their answer. No biggie, because I have so many 310s. So it doesn't matter. And if worst came to worst, I would just order some from Smith's Beads in the UK. Who's leaving? Somebody's leaving. Carrie. Have to check out, but nice. Yep. Have a good day, Carrie. Have a good weekend. Thanks for dropping in, joining in. Bum, bum, bum. So much trash. What are we talking about? Trash drills. Alright, hang on. If I got one with all the tiny bags, I will count every dang bag to make sure I got the amount I need. Okay, here's a question. I mentioned it yesterday. The little baggies we get, you get your drills, and then sometimes with your tweezers and stuff, you get the little resealable bags, but you never get enough to actually put all the colours in. Like that one, the Diamond Art Club one that opened yesterday, I had 61 colours, and they gave me 35 of those little bags. Does anybody know what we're actually meant to be doing with those bags? Plastic trash from the way the drawers are packaged. Yeah, I was talking about that as well yesterday. The plastic trash. You mean the trash drills, or you mean the packaging? Yeah, that's my point, Nancy. You've got 61 colours and they give you 35 bags. So why do we only get 35 bags? It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, 35 bags is actually a lot. A lot of companies, it's near 10, 12. So you end up with, I mean, I was saying that yesterday, but I mean, I've got bags of bags. Like, I keep them, but it's just plastic waste. Just the packaging, so much trash. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I would say they do actually have. Um, okay, the box can get recycled. The box is wrapped in the cellophane that's got the fancy sort of 3D effect stuff on it. So you're probably paying a bit extra for that. It's things like that. You start looking, you think, well, I don't really want fancy cellophane, so you could make it a bit cheaper. And I don't want this, and I don't want that. Um, but some people like the bling. Send you a picture. I wouldn't need 35 bags for 61 colours. What's Carly up to? Yeah, I'm the same. Um, when I first opened that, Callie just sent me a picture, and when I first opened it, I thought it was frozen meat in bags in a drawer. Are those bags ones that you've got from kits, or are they bags that you bought? Yeah. See, that's my point. It's like, look at all that plastic you've got. The main thing, and it's the thing that I sort of think about the most, is the beginner. Like somebody who's totally new and they don't have Harbor Freight containers, they don't have Tic Tac boxes, they don't have, what was it, Elizabeth Ward or something. Um, they don't have anything. So they get this string of drills that are in plastic bags. You have to cut them open. You can cut them open. You need to cut them all separate them into the different colours. Then you cut the bag open. You use some drills. You fold the bag over. Use a piece of tape. You can work it. You can work it like that. Um, and then they give you 61 colours. And I mean, I had what, like 4 or 5 bag sizes of just that brown. They would take up all of those little bags, just that. Um, so you finish your diamond painting, you're still working from the bags using tape, and then you've got 35 resealable bags and you've got 61 colours. What good is that to anybody if you're new? It's different if you're like Carly or me or anybody else that's done a lot of diamond paintings. You end up with bags and bags and bags and bags. I still don't use them though. They're too small and they're too thin. But again, it's the beginners I keep thinking about, people who are starting off. And I'm thinking, why don't the companies make it easier for beginners? You make it easy for a beginner, they're more likely to come back to your company. If they've sat there, like I got a custom one time, and it was the really small bags, the 200 strings, and I had 350 bags of black. So then I have to sit and cut open. Well, first of all, I've got to count 350 bags to make sure I've got them all. This is only for one colour. And then I've got to cut them all open, and then I've got all that plastic's just waste. And I'm thinking, why weren't they in like resaleable, decent sized bags? You could have had them in maybe, I don't know, a couple of big resaleable bags. It would have made it would have made my life a lot easier. It would have made prepping up a lot easier. And I mean, recently I've had kits from budget companies, and they're already putting them in resaleable bags, and they've already numbered the bags. The bags are in one. The numbers are stamped in big numbers on the bags, like 1, 2, 3, up to whatever. The other one, it was labels were on them with, again, the number 1, 2, 3, but they also had the DMC code. Um, and I'm thinking, if budget companies can do that, why can't the bigger companies, like the more well-known companies, why can't they? And I'm guessing it's cheaper to get them in strings of drills than individually sealed bags, maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, that's what I'm starting to look at now, the amount of waste. I mean, we're working with plastic. I mean, we're building up pictures out of plastic. Then we end up with all these little extra beads of plastic. Some people throw them away. I don't, I keep them. And I've either got them in little bags in order of DMC code, so if I ever need spares, they're there. And then the defective ones, like the junk, like these ones that have got little tabs and things on them, misshapen, they go into a shadow box frame that's got a slot in the top, and I pour them in, so it builds up like a picture, multicolored drills. So you can shake it and it looks different every time. And that's what I do with them rather than throwing them away. But it's just, I mean, it's a big, big thing, plastic. I mean, everybody knows about the problems with plastic now. And then we get kits that are, they've got plastic wrappers, they've got plastic this, plastic that. Um, and stuff just gets thrown away. Strings of drills maybe a cheaper machine. Yeah. Again, that's the thing. But I'm still thinking the budget companies are already doing resaleable bags that are already numbered. And I'm talking s at least one of those 2 companies do diamond paintings for under $5, and you get resaleable bags with a $5 kit. So why don't you get resaleable bags with a $50 kit or a $70 kit? I mean, when you start adding in things like holographic cellophane that you're just gonna rip off it and throw away, that's gonna be more expensive. Like, it's more expensive than not having any cellophane. I mean, it's in a box already. Does it need to be in fancy cellophane? But again, this is the thing, it's like people need to decide themselves. It's like handbags. You buy a designer handbag for, I don't know, £1,500, for example. Now, the bag is to carry stuff in. You can use a much, much cheaper bag to carry whatever you carry, but people don't because they want the brand, they want the looks, and some companies, you get a lot of extra bling that at the end of the day probably it's going to end up in the bin, but it looks nice. And again, some people just like that. They like the it feels expensive type thing. I don't know. Whereas at the end of the day, you end up with a picture on the wall. Nobody knows how good or bad the canvas is because they can't see it. They can't touch it. As long as the drills stick to the glue, that's all that matters. I go for the so you actually do use handbags, Carly. Why don't you use carrier bags? They're even cheaper. I would, yeah, that's another thing that's going to be coming up. I've already got plans. Um, the opt-out thing. That's definitely going to be a video. And again, companies. It's the thing is, if one company can do it, why can't the rest? The opt-out thing. I know there's a few companies doing it, but it's only a few. Um, why can't everybody do that? Then that cuts down the number of these green things, because carrier bags doesn't have pockets. Why do you need pockets in a bag? You just put everything in the bag, and then when you come to the checkout and you need to get your purse, you pull everything out your bag and you sit it on the conveyor belt. Then you find your purse, then you open your purse, then you tip all your contents out to find your card that you were going to use. And then you take your time and put it all back in the bag again. Because I've seen that, I don't know, many times. Everything comes out the bag and gets tipped out. They find what they want, and then they just take the time putting it all back in again. Whereas I'm actually standing in the queue with my credit card in my hand. Maybe it's a guy thing. I mean, again, I'm sort of joking with things I say. I mean, it's just a dry sense of humour, but there is that sort of bottom line. It's like, okay, you're getting a diamond painting. What do you really need? And if you've been diamond painting and you've got a few diamond paintings, do you really need any more pens or trays? And why don't the companies give you the option? I can see it being a bit more hassle for them, because instead of everything being automated, somebody somewhere's got to make sure that the person doesn't get the goodie bag. I mean, I don't know if they would go as far as saying, like somebody could say, "Well, I don't want a tray and I don't want a pen, but I want tweezers." I think it'll just be you opt out. Like, you either want extras or you don't, because then it becomes just too much hassle for people. See, with the handbag, I need to reach in the bag and I got my cards in 10 seconds. That's not much of a handbag. Never timed it. Well, see, I'm already in the queue and I've got my card in my hand. Prep time, 0 seconds. I mean, it's just that thing. It's like you look at what you get. You get like little leaflets and things, which again cost money to produce, I suppose. There's all these extras that at the end of the day, when you're actually diamond painting, you don't need the little leaflet or just bits and pieces that seem to be just there because. Yeah, but the point is, I already have the card in my hand when I join the queue. I'm not standing behind somebody waiting on them opening their bag and trying to find whatever it is. You're not going to let this go, are you? See, in women's trousers, the pockets are smaller to encourage them to buy handbags, because a wallet doesn't properly fit in there. Well, all you do is you get a chain and you hang the wallet. No, you probably won't do that because you probably get mugged. I got my cards out before I reached front of queue. I'm impressed, Carly. I'm impressed. Have you finished the teddy bear that you were working on? I work from, going back, Miss Nancy's comment, I work from home and I used to get my handbags from outlets for less than the cheaper ones. Yeah. See, again, it's this thing. It's like if you think something is too expensive and you're thinking, I'm not going to pay that for a diamond painting. You just don't pay it. That's it. Or if there is something that you really want, I mean, just in general, something that you really want, save up and get it if you really want it. But I mean, the point I was trying to get was the fact that the cheap companies, the budget companies, are already doing resealable bags that are labeled. And if they can do it, why can't every other company? Oh, you finished the teddy bears? Cool. And again, it makes sense because these resealable bags, okay, you might not actually use them in the long term. You might end up not using them. But the way things are, you're getting your drills in strings of plastic that you're opening up and you're throwing that away. And then they're giving you resealable bags that you might end up throwing away as well. So it's just more plastic. Send you a picture. Okay, so this is what Carly has been spending her time on. These little teddy bears. Quite cute. Very nice. I like the colours, the sort of pastel colours. Nice. So have you started a new project? Yeah, the whole rabbit. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's like the old opening a can of worms thing. We're going on about plastic. Well, we build pictures out of plastic, but it's more to do with the waste. It's like, what do you do with this stuff? I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, I take it to the local primary school." What does a school do with them? I mean, these things are useless for putting anything in. They flip over too easy. You imagine little kids. I mean, they might use them as boats or something. I don't know. And does the school really want every diamond painter in the neighbourhood giving them plastic? Oh, custom. What's the custom? But I'm going to be very soon. I'm going to be doing a video about the whole plastic waste thing. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people comment before, not just one person saying, "Oh, my local primary school takes them," and I'm thinking, what do you do with them? You got a class of kids with all this plastic. I mean, you can't store anything in them. A picture of two people. Yeah, I think Mike does a really good job with the customs, the skin tones. We were talking about that the other day when Mike was in. I think they are probably the hardest ones to get right, the ones that have got people in them, because it's really obvious when the skin tones are wrong. And they can be just a little bit out, or they can be like horrendously out. I've seen some really, really bad ones. We have kids who they love them. They use them for paints. What do they do? They put paint in that? Like you get your brush and take your paint, and you're talking kids who just breathe on this wrong and it's going to flip, and then it's got paint in it. I don't know. It's just I don't know. To me, it just that isn't there isn't a practical use for these things that I can think of. I know that some people use them when they're doing diamond paintings and they have like 10 colours in a row and they have a separate tray for each one. And I've seen the things you can buy on AliExpress, like a little circle and it's got them all around it. But it's not the way that I work diamond paints. I just do one colour at a time. I don't know. I just feel that they're just spewing out all this plastic that most, well, I'll say people who've been diamond painting for any length of time don't really want them, don't need them. Hot glue it into a house. Yeah, well, that's the ends of the house, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel they're not really good for anything. I mean, they're not really good for diamond painting either. It's, you can tell I don't like this, can't you? It would be interesting though, to know what schools use them for, if they do use them. What do they use them for? There was actually something else I saw, and I've contacted them, a diamond painting company, but I don't want to give the game away. I've contacted them and asked them for more information, but they haven't got back to me yet. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes of that. Yeah, I mean, it's not just the green trays; it's the little white ones. It's basically, I mean, you've heard me talk about this a dozen many times, but it's this angle on the sides. Why is it even there? Why doesn't make any difference to the drills? If they just made them straight, I mean, okay, they would still flip, but nowhere near as easily as that. Okay, I'm moving that out of the way. Keep knocking it about. I think I'm actually going to place a drill. Or did it? No, I didn't. Thought maybe I'd finished that call. So no plans for the weekend, Carly? Not going out clubbing? Angie's lives, be there for Angie's lives. That's not a bad plan. So I'm going to be starting those kittens, the ones that I got from Homecraftology, 20 by 20. I got a round one and a square one, the same size. So I'm going to start working on them so we can have a look and see how different they look, even although it's the same picture and the same size. We've already seen that they have different amounts of colour. And then I've got one from Amazon that's bigger, 30 by 30. Everybody knows that bigger is better, until you find out that the bigger one has 7 less colours. So actually, probably is going to look worse. So I'm going to be doing kittens for the next while. So I can put the video together for that. Then I'm not sure. Probably still do some smaller ones just to get them out of the way. Hi Dave, thanks for dropping in. How are you? Happy New Year. Yeah, thanks. Just hit 1,000 this morning. Not that I've been watching. When I finished work a couple of days ago, I checked on the metro at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was at 999, and I thought, one more. I went to bed. I got up. I was at 998. Checked it a bit later, 997. I thought, this is going the wrong way. And then it went back up 998. This morning when I got up, it was 999. And then I hit 1,000. It was pretty cool. Dave is the guy that I know from Periscope. He's the one that went into the little cafe that made pig's brain soup and let us see how they make it, and then sat and ate some. Dave's YouTube videos were pretty cool. What did that actually taste like, Dave? I mean, can you actually taste brain? Does it have a taste? Oh yeah, I've switched to tweezers. I was using a diamond painting pen. That's what I was using. Most people use diamond painting pens, but they're not like that. Dave doesn't diamond paint, by the way. It was creamy. Really? Diamond painting pens, I'm going the wrong way, normally look like this. This is what you get in the kits. They don't always have this foam bit. That's just to make it more comfortable. It's basically a plastic straw, and it has the tip that you use to pick up the drills. The reason that I switched was, I mean, I've used pens all the time for 2 years, and I've got a collection of pens. You get drills, they call them AB drills. They have a special coating on them. It makes them sort of iridescent, and the AB stands for Aurora Borealis, like the Northern Lights. The thing about the AB drills is when the light hits them, it reflects different colours. So you might have a white drill, but if it's got an AB coating on it, it'll look sort of purple, green, blue, like oily look, and it just gives them an extra sparkle. And they use them just subtly, sort of scattered in a picture, and you just get these little twinkles. The coating that's on the ABs has got a habit of sticking to the pink wax. Like normally you use the pink wax that goes in the hole in the end of the pen. And what people were finding was if they were using AB drills and they were trying to pick them up, they would pick them up and put them down, stick to the glue, and then they would pull back and the wax would pull out the pen. Or the coating would come off, so it could mark the drill, like take the coating off it, or it could pull the wax out the pen. So what people do, some people, is they use tweezers, so that way you don't have the problem with the pink wax coming out the pen. And recently I did one called Wonderland, and it had a lot of ABs. Like normally the ABs, it's a few, but this one, it was a snow scene and it had a lot of white ABs, so you had all this glistening and stuff. So I had used the tweezers for the ABs, but I got to the point I'd used it that much that I really got used to it. Because most people find when they try and pick the drills up, especially round ones, I mean, normally the kits with square drills come with tweezers to give you the option. But square drills are easier to pick up because they've got the square edges. But the one that I was doing was round. So I was doing the round ABs, and then the rest of the drills I was doing with the pen. And then I realised I was actually using the tweezers and not really thinking about it. So I just thought, I'll just keep using the tweezers. Then I don't need to bother about filling the pen with pink wax, and because it only goes so long, and then you have to take the wax out, put fresh wax in. When you first start, usually when you press down, some excess wax will come out, and then it goes down onto the diamond painting, and then you've got to pick little bits of pink wax off it. So if you use tweezers, you don't have to think about any of that. But the big problem is getting used to using the tweezers. I suppose it could be like chopsticks, but it's getting used to it and knowing how much pressure without the thing pinging away and without dropping it. I mean, I do drop them now and again, but it's no big deal. They just like that. They just drop and land, and I can just flip them over and pick them up and put them wherever I want them. The very first time I tried tweezers, when I picked up a drill and it just pinged away and I lost it. I mean, I don't know where that drill went. It just flew. And I thought, oh, forget that. And that's why I used a pen. He's a bit of an influencer. That's one of the nicest things anybody's ever said. Yeah, so I find, even though I do drop them now and again, it isn't a big deal because they just land somewhere here. You need good hand. Oh, we won't go into that, Carly. Yeah, I don't know. I really got used to it, and I never ever thought I would use tweezers ever. But things change. So now I've got a nice collection of fancy diamond painting pens that I don't use. But very few people use tweezers all the time. Don't want that one. Yeah, the other thing about, especially this style of tweezer, they are extremely sharp. And if you've got little kids wandering about, you do not want them picking these up and playing with them. So, I mean, some people might not want to use them for that reason if they've got kids. I mean, I wouldn't like to see any kid running about with these things. So a pen would be a safer option. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to drop these and they land on your foot. I mean, they would stick in if they went that way. I mean, they would stick into your foot. They are very sharp. But because they're so sharp, it means that it's easy to see the drill when you're placing them. You can see everything where you're placing it and get it in the middle. So that's why I like these ones. and some of the tweezers. In fact, Dave's got me off on the subject. Some of the tweezers that you get in the kits are really, what's the technical word? Crappy. They're like tin, and they're very soft, so you have to press quite hard to get them to pick anything up. In fact, the worst ones are these plastic tweezers. They are rubbish. I've only ever got that one set. I'll try to look for the other type. It's like these things, different shape, but they are very thin. Hang on. Camera's there. They are very, very thin. So you have to press hard to try and hold the drill. And because you press hard, as soon as the drill slides, it just shoots away. I mean, sometimes you've got to actually bend the tweezers to get them so that the tips actually meet each other. But they're just really, really soft, flimsy. They don't work very well. After saying that, once I got used to using these, I went through all of them and tried, and I could use them. But these are just better. You've got more control with the heavier duty ones. The plastic ones are still rubbish, though. They are just the worst ever. My hands sometimes spasm, and then I drop what I'm holding. Yeah, better not. Yeah, I've read that. Yeah, if I had that problem, Carly, I probably wouldn't use a tweezer. But can you still hold the pen? Like, do you drop the pen as well? Is it that bad? I mean, you get some weird pens, like this little dumpy thing. I've never used this. But, I mean, it's the same thing. It's a brass tip that takes wax. Mike from Smith's Beads sent me this with an order. He likes to throw in random things. He sent me a mermaid pen. I don't know where it is. That I will never ever use. It's pink and purple, I think. Pink and purple. But when I do the unboxings, it's live, so I don't know what's in the boxes. And Mike was starting to get in the habit of just throwing random things in just to see what reaction he got when I opened them. So I think I'm going to be doing some live walkabouts in Copenhagen, Dave. Now that I've finally got to my 1,000 subscribers, I'm thinking I'm going to go to the Hans Christian Andersen statue in Coningshail. I took a picture of that a while back, and I got a custom diamond painting made of it. So I'm thinking I'll do a YouTube live, and I'll go to the statue and show people like where I took the picture, and maybe talk a bit about Hans Christian Andersen. It'll be on Diamond Painting Gym YouTube. I only use YouTube. I tried using what's that one that links everything? Haps. I was using that for a little bit, doing this. So I was on this, I was on Facebook, I was on Twitch all at the same time. But I don't know. I just decided I'm just going to stick. It was like when I was in Periscope. I never did any YouTube videos. It was I like to just concentrate on one platform. So I'm thinking if the weather stays decent at some point this weekend, I'll take a wander down and let people see, because the thing is, I still want to keep it tied into diamond painting. It's tempting to start doing the IC Copenhagen stuff again, but I really want to keep it tied into diamond painting. So I've done I've done a custom of Hans Christian Andersen's statue. I've done a custom of Newhown, where all the canal boats and stuff are. Really nice down there. So I can tie that in. And I've done a custom of the entrance to Tivoli, so I can fit that in. And I've done a custom of a hoverfly that I took a picture of in the Botanical Gardens in Copenhagen. So those are all, yeah, I want to keep it diamond painting, but I just thought people might be interested because when I start, I know you watch some of the videos. When I start, I always start with "Welcome to Copenhagen," because that came from Periscope, because that's what I was doing. I was wandering around Copenhagen live streaming for what, 4.5 years, I think I did Periscope, and it was just yeah, we're going to tour the customs locations, but I've also got an idea. Once we get into better weather when it's a bit more sunny, maybe looking at other places, other buildings, other things that potentially could be a custom, and maybe get people to vote and see, and then get in touch with Mike, and get a custom done. So that's a long-term idea, but definitely possible, so that people can sort of get involved in it. But I don't know. I'll see what the interest is. If people are interested in seeing Copenhagen, maybe learning a bit about it, bit of the history, um, the architecture. The architecture is so varied here. You've got really old stuff, you've got really modern stuff, just a lot of different things. So I don't know. Periscope. I really enjoyed Periscope, but they pulled the plug, so that was the end of that. And then I started diamond painting, and it was all downhill from there. Never ever thought I'd be doing this. I didn't even know what diamond painting was. I'd never heard of it. Stumbled across it by accident when I was looking to get back into doing cross stitch. I used to do cross stitch a long time ago. So I did a search for cross stitch, and diamond painting came up in it, and I thought, what's that? And that's how I started. But before I actually started, I started searching YouTube for diamond painting, and picked up a lot of useful information before I actually bought my first diamond painting. And I'm really glad that I did that, because you can see things, you get a better idea what's happening, little tips on ways to do things. And the light pad that's underneath here, that is the number one accessory for me. It just makes it so much easier to read the symbols, because if I switch it off, and I've got a light above, if I switch that off, okay, that's a bit dark. But that actually doesn't look too bad, because the background is white, so the symbols you can see. But when you've got a dark coloured background, it can be really hard to make out symbols. But when you switch on the light underneath, it's a lot easier to see what you're doing. So are you still live streaming, Dave? Do you use Haps? I forgot what symbol I was doing there. Cool. I haven't seen you. I haven't. The thing is, I've been so taken up with this diamond painting. I don't really spend much time doing anything else. Multi-stream to YouTube, Twitch. You're on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel, Dave? I don't know if I've subscribed. I've lost touch with everybody from Periscope. I think a lot of them jumped onto Haps. Yeah, I'd be like YouTube is probably the one I'd be more likely to have a look at. Hi Val, thanks for dropping in. Haps is done, is it? I thought that was the new latest and greatest live stream thing. So it never lasted. It never lasted as long as Periscope. I liked Periscope. I liked the sort of basicness of Periscope. It was just basically switch on and go, and you didn't have all the singing and dancing stuff like Twitch. That's all about music, is it? What is the name of your YouTube channel? Oh, it's just David. Sorry, I just saw it. David. So it's just called David Osaka. Okay. Yeah, I'll need to check that. I used to enjoy watching your stuff. Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I'm not saying it just for the sake of nostalgia. I think Periscope was just. It was just Periscope. It was just you just went on and you did your thing, and there was a really good community. I mean, I met a lot of people online, including yourself, that I got to know pretty well, and we had good conversations, and it was really interesting to see where other people lived and the different things they were up to. And then we had the Periscope Meetup in Copenhagen. I had people from Sweden and England came, and we did a wander about, had a good laugh, spent quite a bit of time in the Irish pub, and streamed that as well. That was amusing. Um, yeah, it was definitely a good community. A lot of friendly people. It was nice. Mm, maybe that's it. Oh, did you did you watch it? Yeah, that was fun in the pub. And they were all complaining that they'd been walking too much. I was trying to show them as much as possible in Copenhagen in basically 2 days. But yeah, it was fun. So, how many subscribers do you have on YouTube? You'll have a lot, I'm sure. Really? I'm surprised. Because you do a lot of sort of cultural and architecture and 4,400. Yeah. And did you have that channel when you were doing Periscope, or did you start it more recently? You should have a look at Dave's channel, Carly. I think you would be interested in it. He shows a lot of really cool stuff. Only started really working at in 2019. Oh, okay, well, that's 2 years plus. I'm not going to say 3 years we're just in, but yeah, I don't know when I started. I can't remember when I started my channel, but for a while I had just the name. Basically, I had just set it up and it sat there and did nothing. I mean, a year and a half, maybe. Um, yeah, for a while it just sat. It was just the idea, and it sat there for a long time, and then just gradually started building up. I mean, it's still to me, it's still early stages because there's a lot of things that I have ideas for, and it's going to take me time to build it up, but just slow and steady. And again, getting to know people. That's why I do these lives. It reminds me of Periscope because you start to get to know people, and you get people who have been in hospital getting an operation on something and checking how they are. And again, it's that sort of Periscope feel. It's still getting people to watch. Yeah, again, I suppose. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I've got a a friend in the UK who he started his own music management. Like he manages unsigned musicians, and I hadn't spoke to him for a while. I used to talk to him when I did the Periscope because you know how on the IC Copenhagen website I've got the music section. He was always interested in that because it was like unsigned musicians that I was putting up. Um, and then I got talking to him about the diamond painting thing, and he said, "Do you get many people interested in that?" And I said, "Yeah, it's not too bad. I forget how many I had at that time, and I mean, it wasn't a huge. It wasn't. I mean, 1,000 isn't huge, but it was nowhere near 1,000." And he was surprised because one of his artists, if you want to call it that, he was trying to get moving on YouTube, and he was struggling. And it was the same on Instagram. I think I've got just over 1,700 followers on Instagram, and he was saying that's like a huge number. But I said the thing is, I said it's the competition because there are so many talented musicians, and everybody's trying to get a piece of the cake, and it's really hard to get found, if you know what I mean. Whereas diamond painting, it's a niche. It's a sort of niche market. Um, the hard part is finding people that actually diamond paint. But the other thing is very few men do this, so it makes it slightly different that you've got a guy that diamond paints. So it's sort of helped a bit, makes it like a little bit different. Plus, I've got years and years and years of experience with live streaming, so I'm sort of used to doing this, like sitting talking to myself and watching for comments. Um, I'm very relaxed with it. It's like I'm not nervous about doing it. I'm not all bling and dance and show type thing. I just sort of say things as they are and just keep things nice and calm. And I know that certain people like that. They like that. Just come in and they just sit and listen to me waffle. A lot of people comment on the accent as well, and it's all good until you drop a drill and then don't know where it landed. Then it's all bad. That has landed perfectly on a symbol, I think. I can't tell what one is. Not that it's going to matter. Nobody's going to notice one dot's wrong. So, do you have a lot of people like live streaming, like the sort of stuff that you do? I mean, the other thing, Copenhagen. I mean, when I did the IC Copenhagen stuff, um, there's nobody else in Copenhagen doing the stuff I was doing. Like, no competition. Because I think the Danes are a bit reserved. Like, they wouldn't do what I did and be walking around with a gimbal with a phone and a microphone clipped onto my t-shirt and walking along and talking to people that I've never met. Um, they just are too reserved to do that sort of thing. Whereas I didn't care. What I was interested in is what everybody was seeing on the screen, and I just ignored people staring at me. You get used to it. Every foreign person. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's a bit different this though for me because I could be anywhere sitting doing this. But you do. I mean, I don't see people live streaming in Copenhagen. I mean, the only stuff that I really noticed when I ever looked was people sitting in a bus and basically pointing the phone out the window, and you were just seeing buildings go by, nobody talking, anything, just little tiny clips like that that were just basically a waste of time. But nobody was going round looking at all the stuff. But the thing that I'm kind of wary about is that if I start doing the Copenhagen thing, but after saying that, I'm just talking out loud, so I'm thinking there are quite a lot of Copenhagen videos on YouTube. So it's not as if I'd be looking to get into that anyway. But I'm trying to keep it tied to diamond painting. I don't want to start splitting it like I'm doing. Sometimes it's diamond painting, and sometimes I'm wandering around Copenhagen. I feel that it's better to just concentrate on one subject, and then people know what to expect. It's like, okay, Jim Diamond paints, and that's what he's doing, or this is where he did a custom, or this is where he's thinking about doing a custom, that sort of thing. Like, I feel it's you've got to keep it tied into the one thing. I mean, I think we're sitting talking about this. I think probably the people that watch the replay, if anybody, I mean, I know people do watch it, but most people that watch this will have no idea what Periscope is or was. And I would sometimes get that when I was doing scopes. Yeah, again, if I do that, then I'm splitting time between the Copenhagen stuff and the diamond painting stuff, and then I've got 2 channels, and it's just more work. And the thing is, I really enjoy doing this, so I feel there's a lot that I can contribute, to help beginners. That's the main thing that I want to focus on. Yeah, I mean, I got stopped 2 or 3 times by curious Danes asking what I was doing, and that was the first thing they would say, like, "Is this YouTube or Facebook?" And it'd be, "It's Periscope." And I'm like, "What's Periscope?" And even though Periscope was going for years, it never really picked up. So Haps is still going. I thought when you said that, I thought you meant that Haps was basically going down the tubes. So Haps is basically mainly musicians. Like Twitch is mainly gamers. I think that's what did Periscope in. Yeah, they never really pushed it. I don't know why. Well, yeah, I sort of know why. It was all down to money because there was only like what 6 people that ran Periscope or something like that. So when you raised a ticket and complained about something, people never got back to you, and then people got fed up and they started changing it and getting more and more glitches, and I think people just got fed up with the hassle and gave up. Perhaps just put, all right, so they've decided that's their thing, music. I mean, it was the idea of being able to stream on multiple platforms at the same time, and basically I'm just doing the one video. But then when I started thinking about it, I thought, well, wait a minute, if I'm doing this on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, then I should really be looking at all these things to see if people are commenting and interact with them. And again, it was like, ah, that's just too much work, too much time. So that's why I'm just sticking to YouTube. I mean, I don't think YouTube's going to disappear anytime soon, but the competition in general is much, much higher. I mean, if you look at YouTube, I mean, the videos that you see all the time is how to get to 1,000 subscribers, how to make money, and that's like a big, big thing. Just put up a YouTube and call it how to make money on YouTube, and you'll get loads of views. Yeah, they never had enough people for that. And then we had all the trolls that were coming in just constantly. And that started to get really bad as well. And Periscope never really seemed to be doing anything about it. Well, I've just noticed I've been on for 2 hours and nearly 20 minutes. I think that's enough. Just get the last of this call up. That's it. So, as always, thanks for dropping in. Everybody that's been in and commented kept me entertained. It's good to see you, Dave. I'll definitely have a look at your YouTube channel. I'm going to have a coffee. I think I'll sit down and have a look, see what you've been up to. So that's it for today. Anybody watching the replay, if you've skipped to the end, thanks for dropping in. Thanks to everybody that hit the subscribe button. I've finally got to my 1,000 subscribers, which is really, really cool. So that is it for today. Okay, cool, Dave. Thanks. So that's it. Have a good weekend, everybody. And in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.